This HVAC company has built a strong local reputation, but is Google sending them as much business as it should be? I'm conducting an independent SEO diagnosis using only publicly available information and tools. I'll look at their website, their competition, their local visibility, and their AI visibility to look at what's working and where the opportunities are. Let's get into it. So the business I've chosen today is Santa Air. I've got no affiliation to this website or this business. It was literally picked at random. I've set my location to Raleigh in North Carolina. I've gone onto Google and just typed in AC repair near me. Back in the day, the goal was to rank for keywords with the blue links. So it was to appear for AC repair near me in the 10 traditional blue links. But this really shouldn't be the goal for you as a business in this day and age, because as you can see, as we scroll through, we've got people paying for advertising. We've got Google Maps there. We've got people also ask. And then finally, we have those traditional results. And this is not even including AI overviews, which are slowly rolling out across most prompts. So you've got to scroll through so much now just to get to those traditional links. We've set our location to this blue dot here. And right now, proximity to you is really key when Google comes to showing you what businesses to use. So this isn't always the case, but likely it's showing me some relevant businesses close to my proximity. If I was based up in Northcliffe, it would likely show me some businesses that are closer and more in my immediate vicinity. This isn't always the case, but especially in bigger built-up cities where there's loads of HVAC businesses all around there, that address proximity really matters. And on local, if you're trying to rank, for example, on the local map pack for Raleigh and you're based out here in Nightdale, then it's just not going to work because of that address proximity. On the traditional search, yeah, for sure you can rank for there, but it's going to take a bit more work and a bit more effort. On the local pack, on the map pack, it's really about that local address proximity. Now, for any diagnosis, the first thing to do is just to have a look at the website from a customer's point of view. So is it really clear what services you offer, what locations you serve, and kind of what you do? And is it easy to take the next step? Is it easy to get in contact with you to book something? Next thing we want to see is, do they have an address? And yes, they have an address in Raleigh, which is great. And we found their business address here, which is in Raleigh there. So they've got fairly decent reviews. However, in HVAC, some businesses literally have tens of thousands of reviews. We won't go too much into the Google business profile today, but it's really key just to get this nailed straight off the bat. So just having a look at the competition, who's there, what is their main service? So air conditioning repair service, air conditioning repair service. They're down as a HVAC contractor, which, is fine. I wouldn't worry too much about that as long as it's kind of in the ballpark. If it's way off, then you really want to consider changing that. Does your business profile have your services in there? You don't want to be exhaustive on this list. Just keep it to the services you actually offer. Do you have your location and the locations served in here? And by the way, just because you have a location you serve in here doesn't mean you're going to rank for that location. And then reviews. Have you looked at your competition? How many reviews do they have? What's your average monthly review velocity? How many reviews do you need to catch up to your competition? Are you replying and responding to reviews? Do you have review diversity? So are you getting reviews across the different platforms that you have? So let's go back to the website. We're just having a look at their service area page to see what areas they service. So they have Raleigh there, Apex, Carey, Wake Forest. So it's really clear where they service. We're going to have a look at their Wake Forest page. And there's a Chrome extension here called the Detailed SEO Chrome extension. It's free to use. I highly recommend it. And what it does is go onto the page you're looking to diagnose, click the extension, and it shows you the meta title, the meta description, the URL, any key bits of information here. And you can also see the headings to get a quick, rough kind of overview of what the page is about. But this is a location page. And what I see a lot of businesses do is shove this map right up there. I guess it's to help them with that local relevance. But you really have to start thinking it's more about that customer journey. If you're a potential customer, you click on this page, you're in Wake Forest, you're looking for AC repair, and the first thing you see is this giant map. You've got no idea what this page is about. It doesn't tell you anything. It's just a map showing, yes, you're in the right location, but it's not really what should be there first. This map can be on the page, but it really needs to be pushed down towards the bottom of this page, along with the FAQs, your final call to action, etc. What should be on this first hero section is, what this page is about. AC repair in Wake Forest. Get your AC repaired here. Call to action. Trust elements there. Any unique selling points that your business has. You can have a process there of how to get your AC repaired in Wake Forest. How do Santa Air repair your AC? Reviews from other customers who have gotten their AC repaired by Santa Air in Wake Forest. And this is the same thing for their services. So they have AC repair. URL's fine. They've got the services there, but it also feels more like a blog post, similar to the Wake Forest one, as opposed to a converting page. There's no objection handling FAQs. There's just nothing there to really help a potential customer get the services they need. Michael and Son, and this is their AC repair page. And they have a proper hero section, reviews. They have 99% of repairs completed the same day. NATE certified technicians. They say what this page is about. Schedule your Rally air conditioning repair today. Call to action, or phone this number. You can see the prices, the process, customer reviews. There's just more information. They've got a step-by-step process there. Schedule your AC repair, call them, get to know your technician. Not much more effort, but it just makes so much more of a difference. People won't spend long on these pages, and you really need to capture them that first few seconds when they click on the page. So after just having a quick look at the website, I like to just run the website through Screaming Frog. Screaming Frog's just a great tool. If you don't want to pay for it, then you can use it for free. You can crawl up to 500 pages of a website. So if your website's bigger than that, then you'll need to pay for the yearly license. I haven't run the full crawl here. I normally export this into a Google Sheet to get a proper look at this. Let's just keep it on here, keep it simple. So what you can see straight away is just the main service pages. I did notice was as we scroll through from, I think it's 51 or line 53, we can scroll through and it's just literally blog posts, content, all the way to the end. And I think it's like 129 or 130 blog posts I counted in total, which is a lot of blog content. And one thing you can do before you run your Screaming Frog crawl is go into crawl config. You can connect your Google Search Console and Google Analytics. And then what that would show you is if you click on, for example, this blog post, you can scroll across all the way to the end and it will show you the impressions and the click-through rate. So you can see which blog posts are actually working for you. I've not got access to that, so I can't do that today. Another thing we noticed here was a lot of them seem like duplicates. They've got all these -2s here, which would be something to look into. Now, as I said, you don't want to just start creating new content because they've got a lot of content here. You want to just look at the content and see if it's working for you. If there's nothing, I still wouldn't delete it straight away, although that's a good indication. I would come onto the page first and just have a look. So this page is from 2020, so already it's like 6 years out of date, and the content's very thin. It looks like just a block of text. Let's go on to the Chrome extension. There's no meta description, and it's just very basic. I can't see any links going anywhere. You can either consolidate it with another similar post, or you can just delete it and then add a 301 redirect to a relevant post. That's what's called pruning. So just going through your content, seeing what's working for you, and either consolidating or just deleting and 301 redirecting to something relevant. And you want to do that before you create new content, because otherwise you're just going to have all these pages of content doing nothing for you. Another thing I noticed was a lot of these pages, if we crawl across, they have fine crawl depth, so they're only 2 clicks deep here, but a lot of them only have one unique in link. So it means there's only one link pointing to it. They haven't built topical clusters and they haven't linked to those different blog posts from other blog posts. And that's just really not the way you want to go about it. You really want to build tight topical clusters and really go as deep as possible in those topical clusters, linking to each relevant page. And then as you build more and more clusters, you can start to interlink to those clusters. And you're almost building out this kind of spider web of content. Next, we just chuck their domain into SEMrush. So this is just a domain overview. You can use Ahrefs, you can use Moz, whatever you like. And each of them, you'll have a different authority score. So this score is like an arbitrary number. It's out of 100, and you'll find it's different on Ahrefs, Moz, and it really depends on their algorithm. One thing to know is really you just want to look at your competition and see what their domain authority score is. And that's kind of your rough ballpark of where you want to aim for. If we look at their referring domains and their backlinks, so they have over 1,000 backlinks and over 200 referring domains. Some people get confused. They look at the backlinks and think they need loads and loads of backlinks, but really what you need is more referring domains. You can have many backlinks from the same referring domain, so always focus on the referring domains. And we've just ran the backlink gap here. So on SEMrush, just click on backlink gap, enter your domain, and we've just picked 4 other domains here. And you can see how your authority score compares to your competition. Santa Air there has a score of 14. And then we have 2 Michael & Son and Service Experts, that have a domain authority score of 41 and 44. And keep those numbers there, because as we look across to the referring domains, what you can see is Michael & Sons has 1,200 referring domains. Service Experts has nearly 7,000. Yet the domain authority score is pretty similar. And that's because not every referring domain carries the same weight, because Service Experts clearly has over 5,000 more referring domains. But not all of those referring domains will be quality, authoritative, relevant, and also locally relevant. So you can have niche relevance and local relevance. And when you're building out your backlinks, when you're trying to close the gap with your competition, it's really important to focus on authoritative, niche relevance, and local relevance. Are there any sports teams in your area you can sponsor? Is there like a local chamber of commerce? Is there a niche relevant listicle that says like best AC repair companies in Raleigh that you can get listed on? People often waste their backlink budget by wasting it on general blog networks or just guest posting on sites that just have no relevance. They're not where your audience is. They've just got literally no relevance whatsoever. And it's really important to understand that. Also, understanding the gap between your competition can help you understand how much you need to be spending month on month on your link building. Okay, now we want to have a look at the keywords that are actually ranking for on SEMrush. So a lot of these keywords are either branded or they are relevant to Raleigh. And a lot of them are just going to be keyword variations. So AC install Raleigh, Raleigh AC install, all those kind of variations. And what we're looking for here is, are there any low-hanging fruits we can target? And they obviously have those different location pages, but most of these keywords seem to be focused on Raleigh. We can't see any of those other locations. We can see just general Raleigh, North Carolina, but we can't see Wake Forest, Cary, and Apex. And that could be for a myriad of reasons, but we really want to look into that moving forward. Looking at more detail on AC Repair Raleigh, obviously it's got great monthly search volume, great commercial intent, great cost per click, so people are spending money to advertise this keyword. Do we actually have a chance of ranking on page 1? And we can do that by scrolling to the bottom and just looking at the domain authority scores. Obviously, we looked at Michael & Sons already. Comfort Monster's pretty strong. Our domain authority is 14, remember. And basically, we're looking at if there is a possibility of ranking on page 1. There's a few here. Cool, Change NC, American Comfort Solutions, 919, and American Comfort Solutions again. So there's a few here with a domain authority score of roughly equal or below than us. So that's good hope that we can be on page 1, maybe only in the bottom half though. What you do find is you will see a lot more of these aggregators in here. So Reddit, Yelp, and Reddit again starting to more appear on page 1 for these searches, especially when places like Yelp, they're building out these pages where it's like the best AC repair company in Raleigh, etc. And it's just going to be hard to compete against them. But what you can do is the more searches you run, the more keywords you start to target, where you start to see these names popping up, it says to you that you need to get visibility on these platforms some way or not. And as we move on to their AI visibility, we've just searched for AC repair near me, and this is on a tool called Rankability. You can do this for free. You can go onto ChatGPT and just search best AC repair in Raleigh, North Carolina, and many other prompts, and just really see if you turn up. They do here, but it obviously depends on the prompts and the AI platform you're using. As we can see, Michael & Son are up there dominating as well, but they're not visible on all the platforms. Santa Air is down here. It does say they're visible on Grok and Meta AI. So what we can do here is just kind of see the sentiment of those mentions. Here it says several reputable AC repair companies serve Raleigh, and one of them is Santa Air, which is great. And you can read this just to see actually what it says about your business. You know, is it correct? Is it the right URL? And it does say here it frequently tops Yelp list for AC repair. And we actually went onto that Yelp and found that list, and they are at the top. They have been putting effort into getting reviews on their Yelp, which is, you know, great. They've got a verified license, locally owned and operated. So yeah, great job there. What we can do then is go to AI citations and look at some of these citations here. So there's two things. There's being used as a source of retrieval, and there's being recommended. You can be recommended, which is the goal for the AI to say these are the best AC repair companies in Raleigh and to be mentioned there, or you can be used as a source of retrieval. So in ChatGPT, when you search, for example, AC repair near me, scroll to the bottom, you'll see sources, click that tab, and on the right, you'll see all the sources it's used for its retrieval. And a lot of those are these directory platforms like Yale that we mentioned, but also it'll just be just the regular business sites. And as you do this for many prompts, what you'll start to get is obviously data, and you'll start to see some consistencies across those prompts. You'll start to see some directories that are appearing many, many times across those prompts. For example, Yelp, Angie might be one of those. Yellow Pages might be one of those. Reddit, Wikipedia, Yelp there again. I believe there was a NY Post here as well, hours.com. And back in the old days of local SEO, it used to be a thing where we just need to build out all these citations. We need to build your profile on 100 different citation platforms. Yes, you can do that, but it's a waste of resources and wasting your time. It's better just to do this and just to see which directories are popping up for my searches on Google, on ChatGPT, etc. And then as you do that, you start to gather that data. You'll see the common ones beginning to appear in those. Next, it's a common misconception that obviously ranking on Google in traditional search automatically means that you're going to appear on AI platforms. And this is why I love Rankability, because it shows you that that is not the case. So we're looking at Bing and DuckDuckGo here. So we're seeing the share of each engine's citations that also rank in Bing for the keyword AC repair near me. And whilst obviously Copilot, it shares its answers, it mirrors it by 50%. You scroll down and you've got Gemini, Claude, AI Overview, literally zero visibility, zero mirroring of that. And this can change for all the searches that you do. Sometimes you might see ChatGPT just having zero mirroring there. Sometimes it might be literally matched. And that's it for today. We try not to go too in depth because there's just so much more to SEO now. It's not just ranking in those 10 blue links, but I hope that provided something to you that you can use on your business, and we'll see you on the next one.